Good morning. I am Geraldine Hanson with the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. I am the designated hearing officer for this hearing. On behalf of the department, I would like to welcome each of you to the hearing this morning. The subject of this hearing is the proposed amendments to Division 3 Air Division Air Pollution Control Program. In Chapter 335-3-8, titled Control of Nitrogen Oxide Emissions, ADEM is proposing to revise Rule 335-3-8-.72, NOx Budget Program Monitoring and Reporting, to correct a stack testing requirement. On February 14, 2020, Rule 335-3-8-.72 was adopted into ADEM Administrative Code and became effective on April 13, 2020. On February 27, 2020, ADEM submitted the final version of these rules to EPA and requested that they be approved and incorporated into Alabama's SIP. During the public comment period, EPA provided several comments in a letter dated January 10, 2020. Pertaining to Rule 335-3-8-.72. The proposed rules were revised in response to these comments. On July 13, 2020, EPA Region 4 contacted ADEM to discuss an approvability issue that EPA headquarters discovered in their review of Region 4's proposed rulemaking to approve ADEM's submission of the SIP revision pertaining to the NOx SIP call update. Specifically, Rule 335-3-8-.72 allows for three basic types of monitoring. 1, Part 75, 2, non-Part 75 NOx SIMs, and 3, emission factors. One of EPA's comments from January 10, 2020 stated, 335-3-8-.721C2, the EPA believes the regulations should require stack testing at least once every 5 years to verify that any historical NOx concentration and flow rate factors used to compute NOx mass emissions remain representative of the unit's performance. The regulation should require the stack test results to be reported to ADEM promptly after the conclusion of the testing and would authorize ADEM to require the source to submit a revised monitoring protocol if the test results indicate that the NOx concentration or flow rate factor should be revised. In response to this comment, ADEM revised the proposed rule to require stack testing every 5 years to verify that historical data used to calculate NOx emission was still adequate. However, during the revision in response to EPA's comment, ADEM mistakenly added to the monitoring alternative based on non-Part 75 NOx SIMs under 335-3-8-.72 1C rather than the alternative based on emission factors under 335-3-8-.72 1D as suggested by EPA. Through a letter, ADEM requested conditional approval of 335-3-8-.72 NOx Budget Program Monitoring and Reporting, pending ADEM's correction of the issue identified above, within requirements as defined under Clean Air Act Section 110 K4. These proposed revisions will fulfill the requirements necessary for EPA to grant full approval. The department is proposing the addition of and technical amendments to rules in Chapter 335-3-10 titled Standards of Performance for New Stationary Sources and Chapter 335-3-11 titled National Emission Standards for Hazardous Air Pollutants. These rules will incorporate by reference the changes in the Federal New Source Performance Standards in 40 CFR Part 60 and the National Emission Standards for Hazardous Air Pollutants for source categories in 40 CFR Part 61 and 40 CFR Part 63 through July 1, 2021. This incorporation allows ADEM to assume primary enforcement of these rules. Appendix C is also proposed for revision to reflect changes related to these chapters. ADEM proposes changes to its state plan for the control of landfill gas emissions at existing municipal solid waste landfills to incorporate EPA's emissions guidelines in Chapter 335-3-19 titled Control of Municipal Solid Waste Landfill Gas Emissions. On August 29, 2016, EPA promulgated a guideline for state rules relating to air pollutant emissions from existing landfills under the requirements of 40 CFR Part 60, Subpart CF. On April 21, 2017, the Alabama Environmental Management Commission, AEMC, adopted changes to ADEM Administrative Code 335-3-19 in response to the federal mandate. Few, if any, states besides Alabama adopted rules for their states before EPA instituted a 90-day stay of the implementation of Subpart CF in May of 2017. The stay was issued based on EPA's agreement that its rule contained clear legal errors which had been raised in a legal action challenging the rule. The stay was not extended. However, EPA made it clear that it did not expect states to promulgate rules and submit them to EPA until it revises 40 CFR Part 60 Subpart CF. EPA indicated that it would not revise its guidance until 2020 at the earliest. Therefore, ADEM rescinded changes to Chapter 335-3-19. Rescission of the rules as recommended meant that all Alabama's landfills will continue to be regulated under the standards which have been in effect for several years, consistent with the rest of the country. EPA has revised 40 CFR Part 60 Subpart CF. Therefore, ADEM is proposing new rules as part of the state plan. Notice of the date, time, place, and purpose of this hearing was published in the Birmingham News, the Mobile Press Register, the Huntsville Times, the Montgomery Advertiser, and on the department's website on July 25, 2021. Copies of the certifications of these publications are submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit C1 through C4. In addition, on July 28, 2021, the department caused the same notice to be sent to approximately 2,458 individuals and organizations requesting advance notice of rule changes. A listing of those individuals and organizations is marked and submitted as Exhibit C5. One original copy of the proposed rules was filed with the Administrative Procedure Division of the Legislative Services Agency on July 20, 2021, and 10 copies were furnished to the Joint Committee on Administrative Regulation Review on July 20, 2021. A copy of the notice was also published in the Alabama Administrative Monthly, Volume 39, Issue 10, on July 30, 2021. These facts are attested to by Othni Lutheran, Director of the Legislative Services Agency, by affidavit, which is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit C6. Copies of the proposed rules have been available for inspection by the public at ADEM field offices in Birmingham, Mobile, and Decatur, and ADEM offices in Montgomery. The proposed regulation changes have also been available on the ADEM internet site at www.adem.alabama.gov. A copy of the proposed rules is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit B1. A copy of the summary of reasons supporting adoption of rules is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit B2. Since the department initiated public notice, comments have been received from EPA requesting clarification to the application of stack testing requirements and noting numbering errors. This hearing is being conducted to provide the public an opportunity to present data, views, questions, and arguments on the proposed rules. It is open to the public, and anyone wishing to present oral testimony or a written statement may do so. Persons who have not previously advised the hearing officer of their intent to give oral testimony should complete a registration card and present it to the representative at the registration table. This hearing is being recorded by a court reporter, and a transcript will be included in the public record. Lengthy statements containing considerable technical or other significant data should be submitted for the record in writing. Summaries of such statements may be presented orally. All testimony and written statements should be as factual as possible and should address the subject of this hearing. This hearing is not intended as a question and answer session, and persons giving testimony will not be subject to questioning by the public. They may, however, be questioned by the hearing officer or any other representative of the Department of Environmental Management to clarify points and to develop a better understanding of the information being presented. We will now proceed to the principal purpose of this morning's hearing, the receipt of public comments. The order of appearances of persons giving oral testimony will be as follows. First, public officials, then members of the public in the order they file registration cards to give oral testimony. I would ask that each person making a statement please step to the podium, state your name and any interest or organization that you represent. At this time, I have not received any registration cards of anyone indicating that they wish to speak. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak who has not completed a registration card? Let the record reflect there is no response. Is there anyone who has not had a chance to complete a registration card who will wish to speak at this time? Let the record reflect there is no response. The final hearing record will include a transcript of this hearing, all written submissions and exhibits, and a response by the department to each relevant comment received by the hearing officer before 5 p.m. Friday, September 10, 2021, at the ADEM offices in Montgomery. When a final decision has been made, ADEM will forward the final draft of the proposed rules, as may be revised, the hearing record, and if conflicting views are submitted, a concise statement of the principal reasons for and against adoption of the proposed rules and the reasons for overruling any considerations urged against their adoption to the Environmental Management Commission for its consideration and possible adoption. Once complete, this record will be available for public inspection in the office of the Department of Environmental Management in Montgomery. Thank you for your attendance and participation this morning. This hearing is adjourned.